host, Wunam Nicky Love, aka your African Indigenous Traditional Healer. And of course, family, y'all know what it is. You know what time it is. We have another special guest. Y'all probably seen us on Facebook last week and on African Spiritual Experience, but y'all haven't seen us here on YouTube yet. So I want to introduce my brother, God Kisalu.
How y'all doing? I appreciate it, man. Y'all know y'all gotta break me on in, man. Nigga, I'm family. We about 3 or 4 podcasts in now. You know what I mean? Y'all out there on the platform, y'all gotta know we family now. She already broke me in on the social media platform, so we family. I'm God Kisalu, and I just want to say I appreciate y'all and thank y'all for tuning in to YouTube. Hit that like button and then subscribe so that you can actually follow us and get the content and engaging stuff that we need. We're not asking anything from the people, we're asking from the algorithm. So all you have to do is like, comment, subscribe, and we can keep this train going. I'm the author of White Paper, Black Ink, The Chains of Bondage, a financial literacy book I dropped in 2018, and it sold 128,000 copies in its first 3 weeks. And then I went on to write coloring books for autistic children called He Teaches Me Numbers and More in the Form of a Hamster. So for right now, I think I'm just going to enjoy getting to know the social media world, YouTube and Facebook, from the platform of Ms. Nicky here, and then we're going to actually keep y'all abreast of how spirituality and finances actually commingle together.
All right. So let me just say this, y'all. For the last week and a half, I've been getting inboxes. I've been getting personal messages on my phone.
Hey, listen, y'all don't make me blush out there. Y'all better stop that.
No, we gotta make them blush, y'all.
Y'all calling asking about the book. She trying to tell me y'all calling about me. No, don't worry about it.
Look, ladies. I know he's handsome and all, right? But you focus on the information. Y'all stop hitting me inbox. Y'all stop hitting me on, personal messages, y'all.
Listen, and then I'm gonna let y'all know so she can tell y'all. I'm more of a sapiosexual. I'm more attracted to the intelligence of a woman. So she can tell y'all, don't hit the inbox. The best thing to do is show me you a light bulb by actually absorbing the information that I'm putting out. You know what I'm saying? Make yourself smart. Let me see that you're smart. Take it, articulate it. Become the wisdom of knowledge, which is the execution of things learned. Like I say, I'm attracted to the intelligence of a woman. And I know all these people out here on this platform are very intelligent, but that's what it would be to attract my attention. Show me you know how to read a book or color inside the lines. You know what I mean?
That's right. No, it works both ways, y'all. I'm attracted to the intelligence of a man because if he ain't got nothing to talk about, we can't talk. Ladies, y'all must know that's very important too, because you have these men out here who talk everything else, talk a good game, talk you out of your underwears, but don't talk
I'm not
making business.
I ain't gonna do that to him, Queen. I'm trying to pour into him and see what I can get from a pedestal. You know what I'm saying? Placing a woman on a pedestal. The stronger and more confident she is, I learned. The more powerful the man is. You know what I mean? Because she's strong, she's confident, and she got the trustworthiness in knowing that hers is hers. You know what I'm saying? And that's sort of like a woman wanting the protection from a man. Mm-hmm. So the things I would desire be the same things I would be able to give her. You know what I mean? So I'm not asking for too much. I'm not asking for no woman that goes 50-50. I don't know nothing about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a provider for 100%. So I'm not looking to change or do anything different other than just actually see what's smart enough to actually be in the same room with me.
Right. That's very good because a lot of men don't do that. A lot of men don't think that way, and I hate to say it, but this generation, they kind of lost their minds a little bit. But that's important, ladies. Did y'all hear what he just said? Y'all hear what he just said? Because most women look for that. They look for a man that's a protector, right?
Right.
And nowadays, it's one of those things where, you need to go to mentor. You go half and half because we don't,
Yeah, a lot of that stuff is just, it's a self-confidence thing for men because if you really had it, bro, you will be taking care of that woman. Mm-hmm. So all that 50-50 or I done worked my life and got my bag up and she needed, I understand all that. You know what I'm saying? And if you was actually where you were and your energy were right with the spirits, you wouldn't actually be around the women that wouldn't be for you because the spirits would have ancestors would have put somebody that aligned with you. Because you know what I'm saying? I need someone that can compliment me. You know what I mean? And I can pour into that type of stuff. I ain't looking to take nothing from no woman. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be best for a woman to actually just show what she's got on her own. You know what I mean? You don't have to pretend with me. Everybody that had a past and shit, but I had a woman that showed me agape. And what these women on the internet seeing right now is a finished product of what happens when a real woman molds you and allows you to become who you are. And for 20 years, I had a woman, my wife. She showed me agape. She showed me what it was. She gave me something to protect. You know what I mean? She was that. And She was taken 2 years ago, and it just been different. You know what I mean? As far as wanting to trust people and things of that nature. So that's where the elements of love, fear, real, ugly, and rare came from. Because I didn't know who to love. I had a fear of everybody. Everybody was ugly. Nobody was real. Nothing was rare.
Not to cut your wisdom, but what fear did you have?
On the fear of vulnerability, because my wife saved my life by pulling me off the streets at 27 and made my loan sharking business a corporation.
So you was running the streets?
I was controlling the streets, yeah, because it was all about who could keep their face card clean.
Okay, so she pulled you off the streets and she saved you.
Of course, because in her world I had not been, and in my world she had not been. You know what I mean? She was in the corporate world, I was into the loan sharking, and but then she came and showed me the compliance and stuff like that, and then she started bringing books. She was like, you know this, but I never showed a woman that I could do what I do because that was my peace of mind.
Did you never show them, but did you have a fear of showing them? Because I feel like you might have had a fear of what they might have. You understand?
It was just
Give me a napkin.
a form of strong control. Things I knew. I would play my part if I was actually dealing with somebody that didn't know how to recruit with me, and I would just say not just saying from my son's mother or somebody, but a woman that I would be dating. This would be the scenario I would give. I would date my son's mother or anybody that I was dating. And I come home with $30,000. The conversation would be, we're gonna go out and eat, have what we have, and then put up a little money. But it was always, you can invest, you can do this, go buy some more of this, you gonna flip. That was the mind frame of the women I was around. Okay, they'll listen to me talk about business, but there was no action in that. Now, when I met my wife, I put $42,000 in the safe. 2 weeks after I met her, I dipped out of town and came back. My money was gone. All the money now was 6 corporations. I never knew nothing about Chef Courts, and she told me each one of them courts got $250. She built Chef Corporation. I didn't know nothing about it. And she said, "You're smart enough. I know you is." She said, "You can get the $250 out of it." And I was like, I'm glad right now that I wasn't ignorant enough to be mad at her. You know what I mean? Just jump off and like, "Well, what my money got?" None of that. You know what I mean? Because we're talking about $42,000. Right. And I really just actually took the time and sat back, smoked me about 6 blunts, and I was done with that corporation. 3 weeks later, we had our first $250, and we didn't look back. You know what I mean? And she said, after she saw me get tax credit back, that's when she said, "Oh, I ain't working no more. I'm doing. We doing what you doing." Yeah.
To the full parts.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't no reason why I showed. I trusted her. I never saw a woman with malice and no intention in her heart. That was new for me.
It seemed like she loved you to the depths of your soul.
She brought that love out there. I didn't know that was a place for a person.
I see that she seen that in you though.
Yeah. That's why I say she did. She did. That's why I say she saved my life. She snatched me up off of what I was doing and made it more legitimate. You know what I mean? And then what I did was, my life was so intriguing to her because the costume and mask I took off, she put on.
What you mean? Explain that.
Costumes and masks is what you wear in the world, you know what I'm saying, dealing with people in the form of corporation. So my costume and mask was the loan shark. The person who exhibited fear. I didn't care about nothing. I wanted my money. You know what I'm saying? I had to be treacherous in that sense. So it can't. Huh? You were beating up people? Yeah, I had to do a little something.
That's what loan sharks do now.
No, loan shark. I had to get that way, and that's why I say she changed that too. See, when I got with her and I'm out here loan sharking, she creating contracts and stuff like, you run off with our money, she gonna have you in court. I'm just gonna come see you in the street. Right. So see, everything I was doing, she made it legit. But my world, drugs, wrestling dogs, other things and stuff, like she'd never seen that. And for her to go into it, she was like, oh, and not go into it at a low level. She went in at a level with my costume on, mask on, so automatically the aura of, oh, that's it, why, you know what I mean, the respect, because I would tell people out the rip, and women, this is what you should tell your man, because I told this to my friends, be my wife friend. If she called me at 2 o'clock in the morning and I don't answer, I'm good. But if she called you at 2 o'clock in the morning and you don't answer, and she know you with me, you ain't good no more. You need to answer that phone. So I used to tell my friend, like, listen, if my wife call, answer the phone, bro. I don't care if I didn't answer the phone. You better answer the phone. Because guess what? If my wife told me don't hang with you tomorrow, guess what I ain't doing? I ain't hanging with you tomorrow. So I would tell everybody, be my wife friend. So women, that's what I was just telling you. You need to make sure you tell your boyfriend, your husband, and listen, tell your friend to be my friend, not yours. Because if I tell you to stop messing with them, you're going to do it tomorrow. And that's how devoted I was with my wife, because see, a woman going to see the things and elements of people that don't need to be around.
That's true.
You're going to actually keep the emotions and the sentimental reason for men to being around you. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you got to relinquish all control and submit to your woman like she's submitting to you. Submission for a woman is her submitting to you at your level as you feel servitude, because that's as high as a man thinks. But for a woman, for you to submit to her, you have to do the corny stuff. You got to be crazy for her. You have to tell her things and do things for her that you wouldn't do that make you look bad or you wouldn't feel good about. See, when you start doing those type of things, then you are exhibiting in that you have an open love for her that can't be controlled. So you need to start doing that. Just speaking up and just saying it straight up to yourself. And it's not nothing wrong to tell a woman she's okay or beautiful, pour into her and walk away. Stop trying to get something from everybody.
Now, you know the people going, men, brothers. Right?
Oh, I'm with my brothers.
Yeah, they're going to talk junk. Because, I ain't submitting to no woman.
No, but see, that's the thing. If you can't submit to a woman, then you'll never get a woman to submit to you. You're trying to rule somebody. I said submission. That means there's a compliment. That means there's two of them equal in mind. Meaning that she's saying, I'm finna submit to you and wash your clothes, cook for you, contribute, make sure your emails answered and all your stuff. The least you can do is when you go out in front of your friend and say, hey, baby, I love you. Mm-hmm. Do some corny stuff. Be corny for me. My wife would want me to come in the house and she thought I was the Mikey from the Cowboy Dancer movie. I didn't want to tell her about that shit. You know what I'm saying? But that was her fun time. You know what I'm saying? She wanted, look, man, dance for me. I do a little funny, a little crazy dance, but it wasn't nothing I wasn't gonna do for my baby. I don't care how that made me feel. Mm-hmm. I didn't have no sexual problems things about that. I was doing it for my wife. That's what she wanted. Right. And if my little brother or my cousin or my friend Chris came in and saw me doing some corny stuff, guess what? I even got even corny. Because I'm doing it for my baby. Right. So I think that's where that comes from, a sort of humility. If you're asking a woman to submit and you don't know how to submit to her, then you need to just get out of the finish mastering yourself, because there's some emotion and trauma in that man that he hasn't got over, because nobody's telling her to submit to you. I'm telling you to learn how to be submissive too. Right. It's a two-way street. Yeah. And you have to do it in the form of being corny or lovable, because that's what they really want. Every woman wants the white picket fence, the marriage and everything, but the dream proposal. But until that man give it to her, just that thought. Mm-hmm. Why don't the man just say, you know what, I'm going to be the man and do it? Regardless of what nobody thinks.
Well, on defense of the man, I'm on the defense of some of my brothers, I am going to say, because we used to have shows about this before. A lot of them been brainwashed programmed. You know what I mean? So I'm happy you're here to make sure you get them deprogrammed and brainwashed.
Hey, listen, I grew up in it though. Mm-hmm. Loan shark and pimping and
you do look like you. I'm just kidding.
I moving truckloads and heists. I was that guy for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not trying to give men out there advice, and I want y'all to know, brothers, I'm with you. I'm not giving you advice because I'm better than you or I think I'm higher than you or nothing. Don't take it like that. I'm only giving you the advice because I made more mistakes than you. You can trust that. You haven't made more mistakes than I have. And I made mistakes. So that's the only reason I'm just telling you how to occupy the mind of a space of a woman. You know what I'm saying? Instead of her presence.
Do you want to share some of the mistakes you made? Because I know a lot of these brothers out here probably thinking the same thing.
One mistake I made was, I didn't make the mistake because that was the one mistake I made sure I didn't make. My woman said, don't get no woman to one up on me. You know what I'm saying? She walks with her head up. Right. So I can't have a woman that's like, oh, he ain't this because I had this and then that. You know what I'm saying? I can't give no woman love me. They wanted to make my woman mad.
They wanted to make her jealous.
Right. And I couldn't give them that. So that was one mistake I made sure I didn't make. You know what I'm saying? But mistakes I did make, I would just say not spending enough time thinking that we're going to always be together. You're going to have that time. You know what I'm saying? And that's something I wish I probably made a mistake on, and not just doing more and more stuff that she wanted to do.
How important is time to you now?
Very important because, see, like I said, my last name is Job, so I met time, and he said you need to just stop trying to control me. because no man has control of time. And I didn't think that with me meantime, I would have to get abreast of the situation that was going in my life. I lost my wife, then my son in this 9 months, and then my grandfather, and then baby life. It was certain things that I had to accept, and if I was going to accept time, I had to accept that I wanted control of that. And the best thing for me to do is embrace the people that I didn't want to miss. Right, because I had made memory with my wife, and she had become a memory. And I'm doing the same thing with my son. So it's like, dang, I got time with people who I really care about. Let me just spend that time unequivocally with them. You know what I mean? Right. Because the only thing that people do know when you die is the people on the other side miss you. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna spend as much time I can with me, Nicky Love. You
ain't going nowhere no time.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm just spending my time because it ain't about me spending time with everybody. It's about me spending time with those that gonna reciprocate the love back. You know what I mean? This is an energetic thing. And like I say, that's what led up to the love, the fear. And the fear and the love was not just fear. It was FEAR, a false experience appearing real in my life. See, the experience had already happened, but my brain was allowing this experience to keep happening in the form of fake consciousness, like, oh, I get in trouble. You know, like the first thing you're thinking about is the bad consequences of something. Right. So I had to get rid of what every man, as I think, as black man fear, is the fear of incarceration. Once I got rid of the fear of incarceration, I didn't have no fears outside of that. I really wasn't worried about anything. You know, so it was just me getting over certain things that I had to get over, and I didn't make a lot of mistakes with Jolie. I just didn't occupy the time as much as I needed to. I feel, you know what I mean? Even if she got everything she wanted. It just me being a Job, man. You know what I mean?
Wait. Come on, let's explain that. You sure you don't want to have a seat? Okay. All right. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. We got some extra guests in here, so I just want to make sure they're comfortable. Okay. So look, the question I have is. See, I just lost my train of thought, y'all.
No, it's okay with it.
Fear. You said fear. You said fear, right? So. You said the fear of incarceration, fear of, what else did you say?
You know, this false experience appearing real.
Oh, okay, false.
Yeah. Say
don't they? No. This is what I'm gonna say. I forgot. Job. For people who don't know, because y'all, I didn't know. I said this on another show. I didn't know who Job or what Job went through.
Right.
You speak that you're a descendant of Job, so tell the people about that, because some people don't know who Job is.
Job is actually one of the most, I would say, afflicted by emotion and trauma of ego, which is Satan in the Bible or in the book they will read. Job is one of the people that was afflicted because of his choices to stand strong against the will of other people, peer pressure, and his beliefs in God. You know, in it, he was one of the most wealthiest men of his time. Wives, cattle, shepherds, several daughters, several men, and things of that nature. But ego went to the Creator and told him, like, man, the only reason he's so faithful to you is because you're protecting him. Give me permission to touch him. And that's what happened. He gave him permission to take things. Now, off the rip, he took his wife, sons, daughters.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's what happened to you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
friends,
what you say.
Wealth.
Okay.
Lost finances. People trying to persuade you to get out of stuff. But I just couldn't hear none of that. I just know that Job left me a blueprint to follow. In his blueprint, he didn't really have nothing to say against God. So who am I to go outside of that part? You know what I mean? Now, the only part I do have to do is I got to show people how to experience the suffering for 5 minutes instead of suffering from an experience for 5 years. Because we get to forget, in the 5 years, you forget who you are. People control you. That spirit and that emotional trauma, it leads you away from what you could be doing. You know what I mean? So if you would just accept what happened in 5 minutes and say, fuck it, I'll get over with it, and then go about your business, then you can actually get forward with healing yourself. But if you actually carrying the trauma for 5 years, drinking to think about it, then you'll understand what goes on.
Celebrated man. Starring in his own TV show and singing the theme song.
All right. We had somebody hack into our YouTube channel, y'all.
Yeah.
I know you didn't watch.
Huh?
My watch did that.
Right.
Is that on?
Hey, listen. Somebody hacked into our YouTube. Glad there wasn't no X-rated stuff.
NYA, rise. We will not have that. Otherwise, whoever's doing that, your systems are going to break down. Mark my word. I did it before. I'll do it again. Stop hacking our shit. All right, y'all. Let's go back.
Everybody taking pictures and shit. But you know,
yeah, everybody relax because they don't know that I have the power to chant, and it'll shut down your whole system. Don't play, okay? I'm sorry, y'all. My mouth was done.
and then we coming in the back door in the computer system, infecting your
Y'all
servers and
better
stuff.
ask somebody. They don't call me Wunam for nothing.
And I just want y'all to know, man. What we was talking about is suffering experience, being a family direct descendant of Job. It just came from, you know, going back to Africa, finding out about myself, finding out about my family and stuff like that. I wanted to know more. I had thought I had seen everything in America until I tried. Yeah, when I went back to Africa, it ain't what they show you on TV. Ain't nobody running around with their breasts out and had baskets on their head. That's the country.
Yeah, that's the country.
Them people got big old houses, 8,000 square houses, Mercedes Benz and nice clothes. Like it's a different world over there, but we're not shown that because I can see why if we stay over here and keep our mindset and frame here, we want to incorporate and make that world better over there.
So what part of Africa are you from?
Senegal.
So that's an hour from my country.
Yeah, see that's why we're so powerful. You know what I mean? Because that Senegal is the area, and the area that's where all the power originated from and stands as far as the ancestral power. You know what I'm saying? Of what's going on. It just actually transitioned with us coming over here in America, just like with you and then with me. I didn't even know that about me being a direct descendant or going back to Job.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
To be honest, y'all, I'm from Alabama. I ain't know nothing about being from Egypt or none of that. I actually went back to Alabama and I tried to do the white paper black ink thing down there, but I found out that's where I was getting into most of my turmoil. That means most of my restriction because white paper black ink was a chain of bondage down there. It was being used against the people that actually looked like me. So that actually made me want to go home to protect myself. And that's when I found out I was direct descendant and bloodline and went through the ritual of acceptance rites of being a part of the Diop family. I didn't know that all my life I've been blessed for this moment. Like I've been blessed all my life.
But you can see. I know you can see. I'm looking at you. You can see. So your spirit didn't tell you was blessed for this?
But I didn't know it was coming to this point at a point of loss. I would have to recuperate loss as a win. I didn't know that. Like I thought me and my baby were gonna be together for the next 100 years. Right? Yeah. But her daughter came in and pulled a plug on her when I went to the house to get the records. You know what I mean? Because she felt everything that we had was inheritable. You know what I mean? Right. And that put me in a position where I had to fight them. And like I say, I went through a lot. You know what I'm saying, to get to where I was about this after my wife died.
So you had to go through all this.
Right. You know I just didn't know it was me saying, finding out me being a Job, I would have to come and accept with some of the afflictions that he went through. Like, you hear that sound fairy tale-ish, mystical. Right. Oh, just because you're a family member don't mean you're going to go through that. No, as soon as I adopted those rites, went through those rituals, boom, I came back home, the suffering had to begin. Because my brother, who y'all call Ego, had went and asked my creator, can he test me? And he said, yeah. I went through, and he tested me and touched. I went through everything Joe went through. The wife, and my son, my grandfather, Bailey. I lost wealth, boils, blisters, all that broke out on my body. Really? Yeah, I went through everything Joe went through. Just to have an understanding of, you can either be the Antichrist from this trauma, or you can write the second gospel and teach people how not to suffer no more.
And what's that second gospel?
You know, I wrote a letter to the devil. You know what I mean?
Wrote a letter to the devil. So wait a minute, hold on. Let's explain that. You wrote a letter to the devil. Explain that to the people because, you know, people go.
Listen, I know it don't cause it, but then y'all got to be honest with me, just like I'm being honest with you guys. Okay. Hey, who else would you ask about death? You can't ask your pastor. Your pastor don't even know how to tell you to pray yet. There is no spiritual people that actually gonna be other than if they ain't deeply rooted from the house like me and you. So I couldn't go to nobody and ask me now, because you know what the first thing they're gonna tell me? God did this. You know, God taking. God, man, stop lying on God. You don't know God like that. I'm gonna tell God when I see him, that's the motherfucker that was lying. You don't know your God like that. Yeah, you talking about your ancestors protecting you, you don't know your real grandmama. So I know they ain't protecting you. So when they be talking all that, I don't have to listen. That didn't me. I just know. You'll know a tree by the fruit it bears.
Now I'm about to ask you a question, and don't laugh when I do. But ain't the devil God and God the devil?
Of course, he wanted the same. You know what I'm saying? I can't. You get somebody that's gonna tell you the truth. They wanted the same. It's a father and son, the left and the right, that's having an argument. Okay. And we actually call in the midst of it. Okay. Yeah. So when I got my little change, I went and started studying theology. I went and spent my money on them books. I went across the water to the UK. I went in the archives. I went back to Africa.
You did? You went to the archives?
That's how I found out what I found out about the chariots of gods. If you want to say spaceships, the UFO, I found out about everything. History behind the walls, the Nicky, the reptilians, and it was a form of study, and nothing was wrote how I saw it.
You went to Europe.
Yeah.
Okay, so I heard, because I used to study theology too. I became a minister, right?
Right.
So I heard that the Vatican, down in the Vatican, that they actually worship the sun god Ra.
They do, but when you get down in the bottom where the Pope at, where they bring everybody, because you're not, nobody's able to go there. We had to set appointments and come as a lending institution to get a line of credit from the Vatican to even come to the Vatican. Really? The Vatican is like a goddamn bank. It's not what nobody else thinks. It's not a church. Them folk control the world's finances, people, power. You know what I'm saying? So what you have to do, people ain't even structured to get up there. So I know they ain't even been to that point. But as far as the part where you're saying that with the Vatican and things you have to do, it's like that because religion is hid from us. The part where the Pope prays, the man that actually they praying to, it's a black figure on the statue.
Isn't it Black Madonna?
Yeah.
With the black baby.
Yeah.
I seen him. I seen him bow down.
I went to see him for myself because I wanted to see.
Yeah, they better bow down to us.
But see, and that's the thing. Like in the original book, it shows that it didn't say black; it said dark.
Dark.
Yeah, because see, we didn't have a celestial night. We got encased by action. By sex. In the first book, it didn't say Eve got tricked by a snake and she bit the apple. It say Eve was seduced by the most beautiful angel it was, and he used snakish ways for her to partake and fulfill the apple of her eye, which was her desire. And it says she had intercourse with him. That bore Cain, which is why in the third chapter, God say, bring me the fruits of your work. Cain, why are you mad? If you do what is right, you would not be treated like a stepchild because he wasn't Adam's son. Okay. And I'm like, damn, when you would have told us Eve talked to the Satan because he got banished down, I think we would have bought that. Instead of just telling us a snake walked up and told her to buy the apple.
Buy the apple. But the question I always had about that, and we're not going to take it as a Bible thing.
Right, but I'm saying it was just simple things like that. It was old books that were wrote like that wasn't wrote like the King James version.
King James version, right?
It didn't say Solomon Songs of Song 1, 5, chapter 6, 5 and 6. It didn't say what color. It said, I am black. I am dark. Forgive me for the sun shining on my skin. In his love letter to Sheba, he was telling her he was dark skinned. So how did all the other stuff come about?
But the question I always had is how Cain and Abel went off to another land to marry other people. And
they were supposed to be the only ones. But see, that's why I'm saying there's other books that were wrote before that I had to see. There were books that predated Solomon. We ain't talking about Solomon getting to writing about magic. We talking about Moses and Noah and Enoch, and we talking about Abraham writing books. See, Abraham was the first person to actually go and source out the magic of the Emerald Toss.
Is that the 2,500 year Hebrew text?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was able to read that stuff.
How you was able to get all that? And I've been talking about that. Okay. All right.
And then it was just because of being a financial institution.
Okay.
And what I'm asking people to structure themselves out there as now. Like, start doing business as a corporation and then start going into the bank as a corporation instead of going to the bank as a person.
Right.
Don't go to the bank because they know you. That person you know in the bank still got to pick up the phone and call corporate.
That's true.
So they still part of the machine.
Yeah.
You need to make a corporation look white on paper, sound white to go in the white bank to get the white money with your black self. And the only way to do that is with an S or C corporation.
Y'all heard that, S or C corporation.
Right. That's the only way and the only reason I advise y'all to do those two type of corporations is not because, you can study the corporation. The only reason I advise you to do those two types is because they're the only two type of corporations that the bank has loss mitigation or assurance for, that they get to write that debt off. Without them having loss mitigation, then they had to charge you, put it on your credit, and chase you. But they pay insurance, which is called assurance in the bank. This is called loss mitigation. We pay a policy that allow us to get back the money we lost and put back on the corporation. So I'm just saying, hey, if you know you might not pay all the money back, Get it in the form of a corporation so that way they can write it off and it ain't messing up your credit because you got the loan with a good credit score. So I'm asking you to just step back, get out your feelings and handle your business with the corporation. You know what I'm saying? This is white paper with black ink. You should be the example of black paper with white ink. You should unchain the bondage if I'm giving you the answer for free.
Y'all hear that? Unchain the bondage.
Little son.
All right, so let's go back to, okay, you did fear, so yeah, the elements of, did you love already?
No, let's start at it.
Okay, let's start with love.
In my book, I talk about elements, meaning that you got to break a habit to embrace a habit. And it takes 21 days to make a habit. So I tell people in 21 days, you do these things for 21 days. But now I'm telling you guys now, y'all know Miss Nicky and y'all know the spirits. But I'm trying to tell you without telling you that this right here is a gateway portal where the spirit is finna try you. I didn't put that in my book when I wrote it because the machine was reading it. But what I'm telling you or what this is for you to invoke these things is sort of like you're asking to be tried because you're ready to be that new person. So in order for God to mold you, he got to melt you. And he's going to do it every 21 days. And I'm going to give you these words. Now, in these 21 days, when you're doing these words, remember that the spirit and people around you that you don't know be in control of, they're going to be used against you. So these 21 days is about this word, and you. And the first word is love.
Where's your water?
That's probably it. The first word is love. And that stands for LOVE.
Okay.
That's how most of the books I was going to read, they had periods behind them. That's all the Hebrew to Texas and stuff. They weren't wrote with words spelled out for a sentence. They were wrote out with periods behind them, so they meant something else. So when I saw love, it stood for LOVE. I didn't think love. I thought living, only valuing everything.
Okay.
And that's what I had to do.
Only valuing everything.
Yeah, you got to live, only valuing everything, meaning that if God give you a dream, and he come to you in your dream, and he talk to you in your dream about you being successful, why would you wake up and tell your husband? Because God told it to you first. Have you really got it to the point where you don't, because you don't really know if your husband can be utilized by Satan, which is ego. Because you might say, I want to do this. He said, well, okay, God told you that you were going to do it today. And your husband like, all right, well, baby, give us a couple of days. I got you. Well, then you just put it off.
Right.
God gave it to you for you to do, so you don't need to tell nobody in the world. You need to live only valuing everything. When your 2 feet hit the ground in the morning off your bed, it's action. Because your own children can be utilized against you to make you get into a way where the devil can win. So you got to live only valuing everything. An example I give for that is, why would I give you $20 when I go down the street and my God gonna put me in the position to need $20? So even though I got it, and I can give it to you, I'm not giving it to you. I'm valuing everything. So you're gonna ask me, and my truth got to come in the form of, I don't have to lie to you. I'm finna put it on God. Yeah, you're gonna ask me for $20. I'm gonna be like, shoot, boy, I gave my last 20 to the church. They're gonna make you not even ask me for that money. And that's what I do. I live only valuing everything. And the bottom line for living only valuing everything, I do this for 21 days. For 21 days, I deny everybody. I tell everybody, even myself, no. Only thing I tell myself is what my body don't want to do. Okay. So when my body tell me it want to do something, I say no. I start building. That's what love is. That's living only valuing everything. When you have the power to master yourself and tell yourself no. Somebody bring me something. If I jump up one day, I say, you know what? I ain't gonna even smoke no weed today. My wife, and she don't smoke. I'm just giving an example. My wife might wake up and say, baby, I rolled your blunt. I'm like, oh no, that's a devil. I'm like, no, I'm straight, baby. I'm gonna get in my car. My homeboy gonna call me and we're gonna say, boy, I just scored, boy, I got a pound. I'm finna drop your half of it. You're like, oh damn.
So I'm straight.
Yeah, right, that's the second time. Third time somebody gonna be with you with it already fired, ready to pass it to you. If you say yeah, it was worth nothing. But if you just say no, the spirit got the power to bless. 3 times you have denied him. You have denied yourself. I'm teaching you how to deny yourself with love. You got to love yourself so much that you only care about yourself. Why are people worrying about being selfish and strong? Oh, I'm here for my kids. I do all this for my kids. I rob for my kids, but you won't go get a job for them.
Right. That's true.
Right. You'll do everything in the world except for go get a job for the kids.
For your kids.
Right. So I need you to live only valuing everything. You need to get yourself strong, because if you're not strong, then your kids can't be taken care of.
That's true.
Right. So you have to get a little selfish. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that's what love is. Love is me being selfish and careless. Not that I care less, but I care less about showing you I'm a good person.
Okay.
Right.
I like that.
That's what I ride for 21 days. So I deliberately come out the house mad, telling everybody no.
So, what is it?
LOVE.
What's L?
Live only valuing everything.
Y'all hear that?
That's what you got to do.
Valuing everything.
Yeah, you gotta value everything, people. And then after them 21 days, because the spirit finna try you, I promise you that. And he's gonna try you with that living only valuing everything. People gonna come around you and ask you for things, your children, everything. It's just gonna be a way to withdraw from your energy. So you got to be mindful of that. And then
never lying.
and then after that, he's gonna be getting into the word fear, a false experience appearing real.
Now, let me ask you a question because I hear that. Isn't that a term in the Bible too?
What that?
False experience appearing real, or something similar to that. I forgot.
Yeah, I ain't know that.
My father used to say it all the time. He used to say,
Yeah, I just know that it just comes from not letting my mind trick me out of where I'm supposed to be because it's scared of where I was. Right, you know, your mind might say, hey man, remember the last time you did this with no license, you went to jail. So now you got to go to the store, but you know you ain't got a license, but you really don't want to go because of fear. Right. And if you think about that fear too long, it will manifest into a realization that where if you pull out in that car, you might get pulled over. So I needed to conquer a fear. I needed to conquer all false experiences appearing real in my life. And the only experience I really had a fear of was the fear of incarceration. I ain't got time for no jail.
Oh, bitch, I don't think
nobody. Right. So once I got rid of the fear, the FEAR, it was a different thing. Now the fear of incarceration, the power came from the ancestors too. Now you know what I mean. Like that's why I say like this is a more of a spiritual thing. Like the fear and the because it's about conquering the self and then depending faithfully on these spirits and ancestors to have your back. Right. And you're gonna have to do that because if any doubt, then it ain't gonna work for you. Right. So I had to, for 21 days, get rid of my fears. And I believe me, every fear that I thought I had came, whether it be from a relationship, a fellowship, a friendship, a financial ship, anything that you think in those 21 days is going to come. So people just be mindful. If you do these words and try to carry your mouth for 21 days, it is going to be some costs associated with this type of stuff.
So all of these you have to do for 21 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
To a point where it'd be like 100 and some days in all. That you
so each one is 24. Okay, 21 days. So love and then fear. So we got to do that 20%, so 42 days, and then let's go on to real. What's real?
Realizing everyone ain't loyal. this. You got to realize this ain't from you and everybody else. If he say in the book, "Come out from amongst them and be ye separate," why are you still trying to hang with the clique?
Yeah.
Right. You have to really learn that. Everyone ain't loyal for you. Everybody always think that they can do you better than you do.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. So you have to realize that because if you don't, you'll be the guy past these two words and then realize that everyone ain't loyal and it breaks you. Now that emotional trauma hinders you from going forward.
Okay.
You got to start looking out for this type of trauma of people who've been in your past and people who hurt and people these things because these people still got control of you if you didn't let it go.
That's true.
So all this boils down to me showing you how to suffer for 5 minutes instead of suffer for 5 years. Because you don't want what somebody did for you to carry for 5 years. Like, it's 2025. I ain't got to be carrying that shit to 2030. It was done then. On that day, all right, boom. I know what it is. And then keep moving. Because if I don't realize that everyone ain't loyal, then I'm going to bring everybody to a boat, put them on the boat, and they're going to cut the boat to make their own boat. And then I'm going to sink.
Then you going to sink. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So that's what real was. It was realizing everyone ain't loyal. So I lost friends. I lost family members. I even lost pets.
So what? They start pulling them out of your life.
Yeah, you got to be careful with it because that's why I'm telling people you'll lose things that you'll think that don't have nothing to do with nothing, and then you realize that has a lot to do with energy. Right. You go and put certain energies around you, not knowing these energies are dangerous, and then when they die off, they will die off for your protection.
Right. Protection.
So I had to realize everyone is loyal, listen to the ancestors, because at this time after I forgot them 2 steps on this third thing, it started messing with my mental because. It's going to be people that you envy, jealousy, and hatred that's going to come up when you get down and realize everyone ain't loyal.
That's true.
Right. It's going to be to the point where, like, it's the last thing or person you expect. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that one.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a tough one for people to swallow. And if you're the person that jump off or be ready to fight or be ready to shoot every time you get wrong, then you're going to fail that whole level. Because believe me, my brother Ego, who y'all call Satan, he ruled that realizing everyone ain't loyal because nobody outside of you know they being used. You the only one that got your energy clear.
Right, energy clear. Right.
So he get to use them. He don't have to go up there and ask our Creator for permission to touch them.
Yeah,
he get to use them off the rip.
Yeah.
But he got to go ask for permission to touch you, speak to you, or even pass a trespass against you. See, that's the bad part about me being me. Yeah.
God, right?
You got to ask for that. You know what I mean?
Ask for that,
Anybody else, you can go and trip them up and send them on down the hill.
Yeah.
I ain't ready to go yet. So once I got the real, I lost people, and they brought up a lot of emotional trauma in myself that I didn't know was done in me, because I felt like my quick answer is, I don't give a fuck that shit. Not knowing there was something inside of me writing it down, like, oh no, I ain't forgetting it.
Yeah,
this shit hurt.
Right.
Nigga, do you know this shit? And he wrote down paragraphs that I wasn't able to read. Like, what the fuck? Why am I feeling this way this long? It was that little nigga in there taking notes about everything that was going on. Wrong though. He wasn't taking the positive notes. So you got to learn that. At this is when I realized who they say Satan was. He was in me. His name was Ego.
So say that again. Satan was you, and that Satan's name was Ego.
His name was Ego. That's what I only reference that because in the original books it said Ego. It never said Satan. Satan was a word that was made up in English dictionary.
In English, right?
Yeah, it said Ego, and it translates into egotistical long names when it came to referring him. That's why when I wrote a letter to the devil, it came out. I had to do it in the form of hymns. I wasn't writing letters. I was in the dark, humming, crying, calling that nigga name. You better show up. Somebody got to give me some answers about this one here. I was not hearing it. And,
but that title right there just catches me. I can't wait to read it. I can't wait to read it. But ain't there something else you got to do with that? But you got to read it backwards on the other side. You got to upside down.
The book I wrote a letter to the devil. He wrote me back. When you finish that book, it flips upside down. Now you got to read it from the other side of the book into another book called Influence, Manipulate, Confidence. And the confidence comes from the audacity to pull this off. You know what I'm saying? Manipulation ain't about learning to manipulate people. It's about learning to go the treachery of manipulation so that it won't ever be used against you. You will learn how to defend it. So you know what I'm saying? Once you learn how to defend it, then the creator will say, hey, you didn't use it unrighteous. Now use manipulation to get into corporations, environment, politics, and control stuff that can make a difference for people who don't have the power to be you. And then I said, well, what I got to do that? He said, well, you got to be ugly. I said, well, ugly? Well, you made me handsome as that. He said, no, you got to be ugly, UGLY. You got to love yourself, because right now I'm going to make sure these next 21 days, you don't feel the love for yourself. Your children, your wife, your family going to make sure you don't love yourself. So I'm telling you, your brother is coming to test you. So that's what the next 21 days, and that's why I say, like, I start seeing that my people didn't love me by how genuine their action toward me was. And that hurts.
Now, right there real quick, give some examples, because people can actually resonate with that. They can resonate with that.
It's easy, but at the same time, I would want you to understand it in a sense of you're gonna have to love yourself, man. Apologize yourself, forgive yourself for not messing with yourself, and then wake up that next day and start messing with yourself. Because if you don't, the way that the ego use people around you to show you they ain't your friend, and you lie to yourself about them being your friend, is one of the most treacherous games it is. These people who are being used against you don't even know they're being utilized against you. But they'll do things against you that they know that they wouldn't do for themselves. And you'll sometimes turn a blind eye to it, but being ugly meaning realizes that I need to show you the ugliness in yourself without me being ugly. So there came a point in that word ugly during those 21 days. I was in a position where I had to just tell people and not hide it in a calm way. So when somebody do something to me, I'd be like, hey, Miss Nicky, look, I love you and everything, but I don't really like how you were treating me, because what happened was, once you did that and how it happened, it made me feel this way. But to save myself, I don't think I want to hang out with you and be around you no more. You have to get in that point of being ugly to address it. So that's what them mistakes about. Every time something happened, every time a family member, every time a friend did something, I had to stop it right there and just in a calm manner, without my emotion. Say it in a way that didn't get the person mad, but made them feel ashamed about treating me like that.
I did that the other day to somebody.
See that, and that's what I had to learn.
Yeah.
You got to learn to, because it's like the last step. He who make you mad control you.
That's true. That's true.
So if I get into a point where I'm actually looking at these people and I say, okay, you did something to me, and I'm gonna let it trick me on my pedestal. But what if I can get you to come in here, sit down, admit to what you did to me, and in a form of repentance, make you feel real less of yourself about doing it? I won.
You did. Right. Because at the end of the day, not only, excuse me, y'all, letting them control you, but you're also teaching them something.
Right. Because what I learned was at the last chakra, the seven chakras was supposed to be a form of study, not a form of religion. Right. The first chakra was arm, leg, arm, head. Allah. Find God, find thyself, find God. Second chakra, Hinduism, then Buddhism, then Judaism, about chi, nature, and people. You learn those things. The fifth, then you had telepathy, telekinesis. The last one is what we're talking about now, rare. The last chakra is reacting accordingly regarding emotions, because he will make you mad control you. God would not give you this height and power at this level for you to still be traumatized by your ex or somebody hurt you and you go and blow them up with a spell. You had to be celestial at that last level. And that last level was about emotion. It's about being rare. It's about learning how to manipulate everyone in their feelings so that you don't get manipulated by yours. And I had to learn that by being cold. So in a treacherous way, you have to become Judas so you can control who wears the crown next.
Right.
And I don't want that to go over their head, you know what I mean? But, and then,
No, I had the experience the other day, and I didn't say no names. It happened in the home, and I had to let this person know I'm gonna be nice to you, right? First of all, she was an elder, so I'm always gonna respect my elders, but she don't like me, and for some reason she don't like me, maybe because she wanted something with her. Anyway, so I had to let her know. Came in the room. Could you do this for me? I said, but why?
Right.
I said, you don't even like me.
Right.
But then I turned around and still did something for her.
Right. But see, that's you pouring the heap of burning coals on your enemy head.
Say that again.
Right. That's a heap of burning coals poured on your enemy heads. When your enemies desire water and you give them water, you burn coals upon their head. So it's like, man, why should I have an animosity against my enemy? But I do know how to tell my enemy, I don't have to do that for you, but I'm going to do it for you because I'm not you. Exactly. See, that meaning that her enemy didn't change her. She didn't have to call her audit. She didn't have to call her pivot. She didn't put on no costume or mask. She said, you know what? I'm going to just stand in my truth. No, that means I'm going to let you know I don't mess with you because of how you feel, but I'm going to do it because I cannot not do it anyway.
And I'm not going to change me because you want to do it.
Right. And that's the whole point of going through those love real and everything. It's about mastering myself.
Right.
Me doing those channel wasn't about nothing except for God showing me, say, hey, you can't go further because you got a trauma or an emotion that you haven't gotten over yet. And I was like, well, I ain't worried about that. He said, that's the problem. You see how quick you is to say you haven't worried about it. You haven't even thought about what I said to you.
Right. You ain't take time to think about it.
Right. So my consciousness is what talks now. And most people are like, well, how do you get your consciousness to talking? How do I know that you're consciousness? And I'm going to tell y'all a little trick. Now, don't go, well, see, I can tell them.
Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, hey.
Go ahead, come on.
I'm going to tell you how to identify the voice of ego. Now, this is what I did to find out that I wasn't in control. And then what I did was, once you build that other spirit up, because that spirit don't eat what you eat. That body eat all type of food. But that spirit, he's in starvation right now. That's why he only give you a gut instinct. But if you want him to give you a full Bruce Lee roundhouse kick to the face, you got to feed him. But you can't feed him if you don't know the voice. Now, the voice that control you and show you ain't in control, the only way you're going to fish him out is you had to do certain things to the body. And the first thing I want to tell you I did was I went and ran a bathtub full of warm water all the way halfway to the top. And you lay in the bathtub until the water cover everything except your nose and mouth. When they get in your ears, they're going to create a deadening sound to where you can't hear everything. Going like, everything going to silence out. Now you're going to hear that little voice in your head. But here's the kicker. Get in your mind to tell your voice that listen, I'm finna say astaghfirullah 50 times. Astaghfirullah is, Allah forgive me. But I promise you, you won't be able to lay in that water and say this 50 times. Because my brother who is ego, who y'all call Satan, he gonna make you get up out that water.
Why?
Because you don't even supposed to have that much concentration. And then he's saying, why are you trying to identify my voice so you can see who the hell controlling you? Right, you don't need to know who I am because you already think it's me. I'm your integrity. I'm your morals. I tell you how to live. And when people cross you, I make you get right, don't I? So why you want to identify me? So when you lay down in that water and you say astaghfirullah the first 5 or 6 times, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Your leg going to itch. You ever been laying with your mate and y'all start cuddling and you think you're going to go to sleep, then you get an itch in the funniest place. And now y'all got to move and break up the whole little cuddle session because you got to scratch. That's what's going to happen in the first set. You get past that, you keep saying astaghfirullah. Then he going to hit you with, oh yeah, boy, we forgot this today. Man, when I get out this water, I'm going to do this. He's going to hit you with goals, financial dreams. You're going to become so smart in that water if you get up. All you have to do is just don't even listen to your voice. Every time you thinking of thinking, oh man, I forgot this today. Think of astaghfirullah. Say it loud. Astaghfirullah. Astaghfirullah. Every time you even try to get control of me, then go what you did after that wouldn't work. After I probably about 20 of astaghfirullah. Knock on the bathroom door. I'm like, oh hell, this nigga trying to get me out of the water. I ain't moving. I'm saying astaghfirullah strong. Now I'm get scared. I'm like, oh, this shit working. Astaghfirullah. Hey, what happened then? Phone ring. Well, you been waiting on that all day. No, I ain't. Who is that calling? Get up and get the phone. Don't say astaghfirullah. I'm saying astaghfirullah. Finally, my wife opened the door. And when she opened the door, guess what she say? Baby, I know you hear me. Just tell me what you want to eat. I don't hear shit. I know everybody trying to get me on my cliff. And from that point, when I got to my 50th astaghfirullah, the water got quiet. Everything else got quiet. And then I heard a laugh. And I knew that wasn't my laugh. Then I heard the voice again, and then it sounded like it was my friend. So I said, oh, that nigga go. And he said, behold, I stand at the door of your heart and knock. Any person here, let me in. And I'm like, oh, so you got to be invited in. And that's when you say you see these spirits start talking to you in a form of communication. Like, you might be going crazy because you hear yourself talking to yourself, but you're not talking to yourself. You're really at a point where you're having a rule of engagement with both spirits. If you shut the hell up, you'll hear one side talk good, the other side talk bad, and you just be standing there like a spectator. Like, who gonna win? Mm-hmm. Now, if you had more, this is it, McDonald's or Burger King, the spirit ain't gonna win. You can get on about the water. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it. Go fix you a cheeseburger and mess up your pineal gland and medulla oblongata. But if you can get past that and learn to identify that, the first thing after that to get about the water, then start detoxing your pineal gland and medulla oblongata, decalcifying it. You know what I'm saying? But I was telling y'all that trick because I wanted you to actually learn who actually ruling you and what his name is, who ego is, what the voice sound like. Because if you give it a chance to get silent, you'll realize that voice ain't your voice. You only heard it during the astaghfirullah and you saying it because it sounded like you. You wasn't even expecting to hear no other voice. But when that room got silent and you crossed that threshold, now you're starting to see why we don't pray how you play. Because I didn't write the letter to the devil thinking that I was doing it for conscience. I did it because I knew it was going to work. I needed somebody to give me an answer, man. My baby was dead, man. My son had passed. And you talking about being the Antichrist? Hell yeah, I wanted to be the Antichrist. And then I went back to Africa and they told me, man, with your trauma, you can't be the Antichrist and it will warrant it. I mean, your daughter-in-law took her mother and pulled a plug on her because she thought the things you had was inheritable. She said you were too street to be that smart. You know what that did to me? And I had been with my wife for 20 years. She had built a law firm around me to protect me. And I couldn't protect her in the moment from who I thought would have never did that. So when she asked me about ugly or realizing everyone ain't loyal or who to trust or fear, what I had a love of, it was the fear that I couldn't do none of them things when it came to protecting my wife because shit, if I could have, she would still be here, I think, because her daughter wouldn't have had the power to do what she had to do. So what I want to tell people is identify what's leading you, find out what parasites is hosting you, and get rid of both of those. And then maybe you'll have a chance to articulate the stuff that you want to do with the finances and the spirits. Because that's what it means when they say your temple dirty. Nicky can't do certain things for you guys and your temple dirty and these spirits transparent to you. You are a vessel. And if there's any emotional trauma in you, that allows another spirit to hang on. So what you do is you kick the devil out, but you let him leave his bag for a cousin. If you don't actually learn how to separate these two entities, allow them to have a rule of engagement, and you stand in the form of, hey, this is what we're going to do. Feed the spirit. The spirit needs words. So if you take words and take the S off of it and put it in the front, it stands for swords now. Feed the spirit swords. Books, letters. It needs something to read. When your body say, I want to eat, don't eat. Learn to deny yourself. When you say, I don't want to eat, when your body want to eat, then the spirit gets that food. He has to curb your hunger, your appetite. You're giving him power to work now. So learn how to address what you feed the spirit and make it strong so that you can actually beat the flesh which is around you.
All right. Now, real quick, this is the last one, but listen. You said a stop? A stop?
A staphyla.
A stop.
A staphyla.
It sounds like what I used to tell the people, right? Mm-hmm. When the Bible talks about the war. Armageddon. Mm-hmm. Almost sounds like I tell people Armageddon is with
right.
it.
No,
right?
but right. It is. Right? Well, yeah.
So you got that voice that's the good and the bad, right? So we talked about that here before. Right. So I like the way you brought it up with that.
But then, I had a spiritual engagement when I was probably like 13. I was walking down the street, you know what I'm saying, and two spirits jumped out of me and they looked just like me. And they they argued. They were like, one was saying, you gonna get us killed with all that cool stuff, want to be everybody's friend, or you want to kick it. And he said, like, no, you gonna get us killed. And when he died, I died, you died, we died. And they was arguing. The other spirit was just calm. Mm-hmm. Really wasn't aggressive about a lot of stuff. And the first spirit is the one that became the loan shark. That's the one that
So that's the one that would want to be cool and down and everything.
Yeah, that's the one I brought out because I needed that. You know what I'm saying? Like I needed them two spirits to have a agreement. If you don't, you will have what you call conflicting life stuff. You ever do stuff and then your consciousness and stuff like that fall on you and you feel bad about it? Yeah. That's because your spirit haven't had an agreement with the spirit that caused it. Right. So what happened was one spirit had said, look, I'm finna do this. This finna be our life. I don't care if I had to throw out something in the oven or microwave to get what we want. You don't supposed to go home tonight and think about it. I don't want to stay up all night. That's what the spirit was telling them. The other spirit was like, well, I need to read. I need this and this. But they came to an agreement where one spirit ruled all the way from the time I was 13 to 2018. And
that was the spirit that had you out there doing
Yeah, protecting myself and turning Atlanta into my own financial institution. Because I did loans. I was a loan shark at first. Mm-hmm. Maxi pad panties and bras bought me my first couple $100,000 because of the economics of people feeding their children food. Mm-hmm. Like I say, a young lady will get a period at 9 instead of 14, breasts at 12 instead of 16 because of the food they were eating. The food they was eating. I had stocks in the maxi pad panties and bras. And those stocks went up over the years because now it was instead of it being a mother household that she had to buy when she was 16, she had to buy them early for her daughters now. Mm-hmm. And now the whole household needed them. You know what I mean? So it made the stock go up. So I got my money off people being sick, but it also made me, it ain't no money in healthy people. So that's when I started realizing stuff. I don't eat a lot of foods. I didn't do a lot of things. You know what I mean? I kept my body conditioned to just read a lot. You know what I'm saying? Read a lot. Yeah.
All right. So let's go over the last one, Rhea.
Mm-hmm. That's reacting accordingly regarding emotion.
Wait. Say it again. Reacting accordingly regarding emotion. Y'all hear that?
That's rare.
Okay.
You have to be rare because listen. In the book I wrote a letter to the devil. He wrote me back. That's the title. I wrote the letter to the devil. He wrote me back. You find out that these spirits are utilizing us because we don't have control of our emotion. Emotional trauma, it's just emotion. He who makes you mad controls you. So rare was reacting accordingly regarding the emotion. Okay. I didn't let nobody make me mad. We can be outside this office finna go in there and interview, and then I just say, hey man, dang, she more qualified than me. You know what, you're an ugly old lady. And you go like, what? Man, when I come out this office, I'm gonna kill this nigga. but let me go handle the interview. So you go in the interview, you ready, you handling everything, and you come out. I go in the interview, I handle it, and I come out. And the people inside say, well, I like Miss Nicky. She's more qualified, but she just wasn't here right then. Did you notice she was somewhere else?
My emotions.
Right. She just wasn't here. Yeah. What about the other guy? He don't know shit, but he look like he can be trained.
Right.
So let's just give him a chance, because I don't think I need nobody who mine ain't where I needed to be.
Right.
Like, and she was well qualified. What was she thinking about? All because I needed to get her out of her feelings. I got the job.
Okay, yeah.
So I have to react accordingly regarding my emotions and not act like I don't have none. Because once I got to that level, I had to learn how to kill them. I'm talking about, when that happened to my wife, what emotion should I have after that? I had been married to my wife for 20 years. She say, like, what emotion should I have for that? And that was against her own daughter. We never saw this. I went home. I found my wife unresponsible. Found out she was in a diabetic coma. When I got her to the hospital, we put her in the hospital. They stabilized her. Her daughter came in when I went to the home. She thought everything we had was inheritable, and she pulled the plug on my wife. Georgia don't recognize common law marriages, so she had authorization to do that.
That's some bullshit.
I ain't seen my wife. I never knew when she was buried. I don't know what they did to her.
But the question is, how did they even know she was dead still? Because people come out.
My wife one day. That's I want to tell you that she killed my wife when my wife was alive. I got my wife stabilized. They got her vitals up. Then her brain functions came up, and then her heart and everything came up. The only thing that didn't pump back up the next day was her lung. And they told a person in a diabetic coma their lungs fail all the time, but it takes like 30, maybe 90 days to come back. But she'll be on the machine. So she was breathing, all her organs and everything was up. It wasn't no problem. But when her daughter came to try to take my the Benzes and the cars and stuff from the house with the police officers said she couldn't do this because her mom was still alive. And I went back to the hospital and pulled the plug. And then came right back with the police.
She going through some.
And then when she came back with the police, she had took out a terroristic threat warrant against me, so they locked me up. And that's how I never seen my wife, the bear. I don't know what happened. They just came in and took her.
They just blocked you from the whole shit.
Right. And you talk about being real. And I was ready to when I went back to Africa and they brought them powers, I was saying, yeah, I'm ready to hurt something. Yeah, I'm ready to come back to be the Antichrist. That's what they told me when I got out that dirt after them 3 days. I was either told two things: you can be the Antichrist or you can write the second gospel. And with the pain I was experiencing, I was ready for that. I wanted to hurt her family. I wanted to hurt her whole bloodline, but she just said, "Don't do that." She told me don't do that.
She told you?
Yeah, she told me don't do that. She gonna handle that over there on that side. But I need to do what I gotta do here because she didn't mold me and do all this stuff for me to go out. Yeah. And then when I started crying, like when I was crying in front of you, she said, "What are you crying for?" Like she ain't like that. Like, man, what you doing down there crying, man? I'm all right. But I ain't want to hear all that. You know what I'm saying? I have a lot of people that say, "Hey man, your wife said this." I'm like, I don't give a damn. Why she ain't come tell me? I want to see her. I want to talk to her. Like, I only saw her for a brief second after what happened. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you don't have no dreams about her?
No. Okay. I haven't had any dreams about it. I have essences of her presence. Like I can feel certain stuff, and like at certain times, 11:22.
I told you she stays around you.
Right. Yeah. But see, I was never into that building altars, spirituality, and. Nah.
Yeah.
I wasn't into that.
But I mean, you don't have to be into that for you to feel her. Y'all shared the same.
Right. Not afterwards. Not during it. I say that because she was hard about that. Like how you is about your prayers and your answers. She ain't playing about that, but she gonna study and stuff. But I wasn't one. I was more into. I'm finna go read the books. Give me the books, the text. I want to see the text. I want to see what's really.
You want to see?
Yeah, because I can read that. I can study Latin, and then with her, it was always she was all protector. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't get nothing after she passed. Like the Carroll County system so treacherous. When she passed and they pulled a plug on, I didn't know till 8 days later. Like they kept me, they kept me in the jail for 21 days.
You did say that, yeah.
Right, and the daughter tried to sue me. She wanted $1 million a month. She wanted the companies. She locked up the bank account. She like She just really thought.
Well, but let me ask you a question. Did your wife have a will?
No, everything was already drafted as executor. She left everything to me.
She left everything.
Yeah, everything. It was already. Our clothing line, own nothing, control everything. We had nothing on
So how her butt get to take it?
She didn't get to take nothing.
Okay.
She actually killed her mom for nothing. So by the time she got the courts and everything, the judge told her, man, your mama maxi pad panties and drawers and Q-tips is left to this man. If he would die, his drawers and Q-tip would left to her.
Right.
So we went in there. But what you did that out of malice. You didn't have to do that. And there ain't no way I need to lock this man up or bring it up. Right. He don't owe you nothing. Right. And the judge threw it out and told her if she keep trying to try me or bother me or sue me, he was gonna have her arrested. And that was the end of it. Good. And they're like, dang, you ain't get nothing. You don't have your mama pictures. I got your 3rd through 12th grade report cards, accolades. Like, why did y'all do this? Right. And that changed me. I wanted to hurt the world. I was already doing what I wanted to do, but I wanted to hurt the world. I wanted everybody to suffer like I suffer. Shit. It's not a lie. I want you to feel what I feel, that somebody had poured in me, somebody saved my life, and then somebody within their own family. That's treachery. Us as people with color in our skin, we never see us hurting our parents. Our parents can be drug addicts, molesters, rapers, killers. Get what we say? Oh, my mama and daddy messed up, but we ain't killing them.
We ain't killing them, exactly.
You might have said when you were mad, I wish you were dead, but you ain't mean it, because as soon as she went to the hospital, like, Mama, please don't die.
Exactly.
Right, so you didn't mean that. So for this girl to come here after we never even seen her in over 5 or 6 years, we never had no arguments. Jolie didn't have no bad relationship with her, and for her to just come in here and just do that, it just challenged every fucking thing I believe. It challenged everything I did, and my wife was alive. She wasn't dead.
That's what Spirit showed me. She
wasn't dead. The hospital asked her daughter, "Do you give us permission in there?" And she did it. She asked the mama. That's why I say the spirits. I just ain't want to hurt her, man. It's a lot. I'm a very powerful person when it comes to praying, but I just ain't want to do that because, like I say, if I did that, that's why I'm glad I met y'all. I would have went to the dark and stayed over there because I liked it and I know what I can do from it. Yeah. And I didn't want to be responsible for that because righteousness is part of my family issue.
Yeah, but just let the answers, because like she said, she'll deal with her another time.
Right, she did. She already told me.
Spirit has shown me that she got to be careful because she's going to die in the same manner.
Man, listen, the Spirit had told me, said, listen, don't cry. She has dug a hole, filled it with fire, soon she shall jump in it. All I need you to do for this to happen is forget that she done something to you. Right. Right, and that was hard, boy. Listen, a lot of stuff the Spirit be asking me to do.
We don't use the word hard. Ain't nothing hard. You know I don't believe in that word.
Right, but I'm saying it like this. This is what I say the Spirit was doing. Mm-hmm. If you say the Spirit was have me say, hey, I don't want to do nothing to my white daughter. Just because I said that, the Spirit is going to challenge me. My brother's ego is going to ask my Creator, can he challenge me? And get what my Creator going to say, test him. Get what happened. I'm riding down the street and then my white daughter pop up next to me in the right light. Boy, I tried to run that horse. Boy, listen. No. That car was at 2 wheels and they weren't even trying to go. I was trying to ram it into her. But I look over to her. All her hair cut off. She trying to look like my wife. And she was just crying. She just couldn't look at me. But I crying, hey, I was finna try to ram the car enough. As soon as the light turned green, I was gonna run off the road, but I was in the BMW, she was in the Mercedes. It was just a little quicker than that was at that night. I sure was gonna do it to her. And that's when I say, the Spirit was saying, maybe you ain't ready yet. Because I'm finna give you some power and you're gonna hurt that child. I was like, yeah, I am, man. Yeah, you gonna do it.
But let me ask you this, what really got you? The fact that she was trying to look like her mother? Did that get you?
Oh, that hurt me. Because yeah, man, that hurt me, man. Exactly. That hurt me, man.
It's like you looking at her because she is your mother.
Man. Hey, listen, she's a direct. This is her biological daughter. Right.
So she looked like her.
She shaved all her hair off, and what made her look like my wife. My wife wear the turbans.
Okay, she wore the turbans.
Yeah, right, the wraps and stuff. So she had that on, and all her beads and pretend. She had all that on all around the wrist. And I'm just looking at her because she had the hand on the steering wheel, and I'm like, the beads, the tie-dye, all the stuff she just, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay. And I couldn't take it. Because she's only dead because of you.
Right.
Your
mother's dead.
Right. You killed my wife. And
I love my babies, y'all. I love my daughters. They ain't gonna never do that to me.
But so here's another thing. I'm gonna tell y'all something too, chat. Why I felt hurt and distraught about it, some stuff. It was a warning before disaster, and I think I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna take some of y'all questions, King. It was sort of a warning before disaster that something like this would happen, but we never thought it. When me and my wife first met, 2 days after, her mama went and got a reading, and her mama came back and said, "Y'all gonna be together forever." But he told my wife, "Your daughter is gonna hurt you." She said, "She's gonna make you cry. It's not gonna be your son." And her son caught time in prison. That didn't hurt. But she said, "Your daughter's gonna be the one who's gonna take you and hurt you and make you cry." But we never thought nothing about it because her daughter at the time was 13. So we were like, man, whatever. Sent her to college, best school. I bought her first car, everything. She never even heard me curse aloud at her mother. So for it to happen, we never knew where it came from.
For her to have that malice to want to kill her.
Right, but see, here's the thing that my wife warned a disaster, and you can bring Chris in here. Get what after we finish, and get what my wife used to tell us.
What?
For the last 20 years, if anything happened to me, baby, don't let Jaleesa come in the hospital and do nothing, because she's gonna kill me out of spite and jealousy. And that was the only thing I felt like I hurt about, because when they came in the hospital, if I was reacting accordingly regarding my emotion, I would have never been out that hospital. But as soon as they came in the hospital, they saw my wife in the bed. The first thing they said was, "Oh, she's already dead. Take off the machine." And it brought a different reaction out of me. So I started exploding. I just straight up, I said, "Man, get out of the hospital. Get out." But the doctors and everybody around are noticing the anger, the issue, and the spirit. So they told me I need to leave.
Get out.
Yep. And that's how I had to go home and get the medical records. So look, I'm supposed to be here. I'm going to go get the medical record. But when I went home to get the medical records, the daughter authorized to pull the plug.
She did it while you were gone.
Yep. She pulled the plug on the while I'm gone. And that's where the treachery came from that made me change. I do a lot of thinking.
We're going to take some questions, but I want to ask you, and we get the questions lined up. You're very, very intelligent. You're very smart. You're very spiritual. So tell me, how are you? I mean, I kind of feel like it's still affecting you a little bit, but how are you maintaining, and where are you going to go from here? Because you can't tell me.
I'm going to be honest with y'all. I'm lost. I was lost. I'm lost on some stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, she got me going. You know what I mean? Because I realized that I wrote this book, and it brought in all this stuff, and my wife then built a law firm around me to protect me. And I never realized how much protection she brought around me and protected me until she was gone. You know what I mean? And I still didn't know how to live with it. You know what I'm saying? Because it was done so treacherously. So yeah, I you know what I'm saying? That's why I'm cautious about certain things I do, because yeah, I'm still messed up about it.
Do you think that of course you loved her, because you can tell, I can see. I know you loved her to the depths of her soul. You miss her. But do you think some of it is a little bit of your guilt because of what you should have done for her? Because you know she was protecting you.
Yeah, a lot of it is the guilt on the fact that me and her used to talk, even when she'd just be like, "Look, boy, if I ever get sick, don't let Julie come in there and take me over to the hospital or none of that." And we'd be like, "Man, anybody gonna do nothing to you?" And I get in my cocky mode. I wish my own world do nothing. And that is a lot of the guilt, because I can hear her. We talked about this. So why did I let myself get in my emotions and holler? I should have said, "Excuse me, y'all don't supposed to belong here." Right. Flipped into my script and showed them my paperwork and made the doctors escort them out of here if they didn't know how to act.
That's true.
I fucked up.
But no, you didn't. Wait. Stop right there, because I'm spiritual too. Everybody has a number when they come back here, right? And as much as we don't want to recognize that number and deal with the way that it happened, that was her number.
Right.
Now, if I'm going back to the arcade records and I'm seeing it, right? That was her number.
Right.
However, the other question I have for you, why didn't y'all get married?
Why didn't we? She didn't believe in us. She not put no name on paperwork. When she first met, we were married. If we would have got a marriage and did something in the public, it would have been for people. We were married the day we met.
We said that too, right? Because my thing is, when you lay down with me, the first time you lay down,
Yeah,
married.
she was adamant about that. First time she made me sleep with her, like, nigga, we locked in.
Right, you married already, right? However, what's crazy is because I was the same way. We go on top of the mountain. We go on top of the mountain and we married. Right. Until some people push the issue. We're almost done. We're about to wrap it up. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, because of the part where y'all had a lot of assets and stuff together and everything y'all had together, that's the only reason I would say, you know, you would probably do that. Right?
No, cause see, what we did was we structured the trusts, the will. We didn't have one. We just had an estate set up. And both of us was executor in case of the capacity of either one of us get gone.
All right, so you said okay.
Yeah,
that's so it matter, right?
Right. And delegated everything that was supposed to go on, like her law firm. All 63 employees are still employed. Money had been broke down and paid. That's why a lot of stuff ain't set up for me. To live off. It's me and my wife set it up so that we can keep living the lifestyle we living, and then everything can keep going in the case of our demise. Right. So her law firm is still going. I still operated the bank. Like I said, 11/22. You know what I mean? That's her birthday.
She's talking. She's right here with us, y'all.
You know what I'm saying? That's her birthday. You know what I'm saying? That one just came up on the screen. So yeah.
She's a Scorpio.
Yeah. Sagittarius.
Sagittarius. Oh, no, Sagittarius.
Yeah, she's the bottom. She's the bottom part of a Sag.
Sagittarius. All right, before we go, because I think they need their time. Let's wrap it up. So we're gonna take a few questions and then we're gonna keep it moving. Okay.
No problem. Let's do some with the question. What y'all want to know out there in the wonderland of the YouTube verse?
So put their questions in the chat.
I'm not in here, so you tell me.
Nawaz says, I was just thinking, I hope they drop another video saving all my receipts.
That's all, man.
Saving all your receipts?
Hey, you doing the right thing, fam. Save them receipts, because then what Uncle Sam classifies as a POP, proof of purchase. Without that, H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt won't take digital receipts for Uncle Sam to file or you to get your money back and spending it, fam. So you're doing a good thing by saving your receipts, and also remember that it's receipts recoupment for tax credit can only be recouped by the corporation. So if you got an LLC, change it to a S or C corp. If you got a corporation, make sure that your articles show that you got common stock value, maybe 1 million shares at $1 par value.
Okay.
I'm glad y'all were looking for another video.
Reparation. Whoever this is, reparation says, what do you select to change an LLC to a corporation?
It's called entity conversion. Domestic. It'll be domestic because it's not an international corporation. So you're gonna be doing an entity conversion. It's on your Secretary of State. They should have it on there, and they have the articles of incorporation that you need to finalize it. So on your Secretary of State, it's called entity conversion, converting an entity from an LLC to a corporation, and then you file articles of incorporation instead of articles of organization. That's what makes the corporation a legit entity on the Secretary of State. And you have to find your entity conversion on the Secretary of State of your state website.
All right, we'll take, let's see, 5 minutes. That's it? Okay, that's fine.
I think they want to hear, they was asking this at the very beginning.
Okay, my bad.
Okay, so maybe we'll come back and do, how many people was on there? Was it?
It's only 11 watching now, because they don't expect us on a Friday.
Don't worry about it.
It don't matter because it's going to triple that when we get off. I already know.
Right. But we know y'all actually need what we're giving y'all, and we don't mind giving y'all what y'all need. Exactly. So we're going to be actually creating more videos to get that together on some selected topics so that we can actually give y'all the steps to execute when you need your corporation. You need to go get funding, because we're going to tell you how to start this and go about this in the next videos. And we're going to have PowerPoint presentations so that you can follow. I'm drafting ebooks and downloadable books to go with everything that I got. So that you guys can follow along with me. And like I said, we're establishing a Bank of Elites community. I don't know if we're going to be on
YouTube or Facebook.
Yeah, either one of those. But we're going to establish a community where in our community, my wife's law firm will do your trusts, your estates, your setups, all your documents that you needed after being a part of our community. And we're going to help each other grow our credit scores and our paydebt scores so that we can get funded. Just like a chapter in my book, 100,000 in 120 days, I'm here to show you that it's possible, but also make you my example so that I don't have to talk so much. But I look forward to working with you.
Give these new people the website, the name of the book.
It's white paper, black ink, The Chains of Bondage. That's the name of the book. My website is www.godkisalu. It's godkisalu.com. And most of my books are already on there for sale. You can link in to do the books. I have people sometimes because I stopped selling everything when my wife passed. And since I got with Miss Nicky, we've been just discussing putting everything back up for sale so that her platform and her people and her can get it. So that's what we're doing. We have Cash App available on the site, and if you have Zelle, just contact us so we can give you the Zelle information. But we will have a platform to accept all forms of payment coming in the next week or so that you can order all the books at your leisure.
All right.
Reparations says, wow, R.I.P.
And man, I appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? But it just goes to show that, man, when people start talking about trusts and bonds, inheriting money or trust fund, baby, it can get deadly. You know what I'm saying? And it can get dangerous. And don't put it past nobody because you never know what a person is holding ill will for towards you out of jealousy or envy or how you treat someone. You know, so I appreciate everybody. Condolences. And like again, her name was Jolie, and y'all are looking at a finished product of what she created. And that's why I'm able to give you the information and wisdom I have, because she made sure that I just didn't talk. I knew what I was talking about.
Reparations, thanks and blessings.
Appreciate you, fam.
All right, you're welcome. And thank y'all for tuning in again to the Spirit Talk. And y'all know I'm Nicky Love, aka.
And you know what, Miss Nicky?
What?
We're gonna get a sneak preview with me and you gonna read I Wrote the Letter to the Devil, and then we're gonna discuss some of the terms and stuff.
Oh yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, okay, that's what y'all look for next. After that, we finna do that. I'm gonna go down, get her the book, let her read, and then me and her gonna discuss the topic in the form of spirituality and you guys on the network. And then we're also making those who tune in that night, I might upsell and discount the book for you guys so that you can hurry up and get multiple books at a discount price. So stay tuned and look forward to that.
Yep. Y'all look forward to that because I can't wait. Now, I don't know, that title right there just got me, wanting to read the book. So definitely. And I want y'all to also be sure to make sure y'all leave your comments inbox if y'all have any more questions. We're going to be doing some more shows.
Right.
Like he said, we got the community coming. We're not sure if it's going to be YouTube or Facebook, but y'all stay tuned. You know, y'all can hit me up in many different ways. Facebook, TikTok. Y'all know I got it all. Instagram. If you want anything, and we're working on making his Instagram and his Facebook, so y'all look forward to that too. But again, thank you for tuning in. It's been lovely. It's been nice. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get up off of here because I'm sweating and tired, y'all. Y'all see me wrapping my hair up right? Y'all see what it is. So I love y'all, family, as I always say, and y'all have a good night.
Love y'all. Peace.
Ooh. Next sweating shit. I'm sweating.
Yeah, I need to give you I Wrote a Letter to the Devil.
Yes.